cool thing about it. I feel like the show is going to be is the fact that our situations are, two different aspects of the game. You're the veteran who has seen both the good and the bad and has time in the minor leagues versus me, where it's kind of, beginning of the new age college era with the transfer portal, kind of seeing that. And then getting into pro ball with the new draft, the new union. Basically, it's just the idea too that like, as a kid you want to do this, and you kind of, you probably have realized it too, and a lot of the other guests we'll bring on will probably touch this at some point further along, but it's just the idea that like this is, from the age of 18 to 30, like this is the window. You know what I mean? If you pass the window and you look back, you won't be able to do this at 45. So
Right.
you have a finite amount of time realistically to even pursue playing a sport. Just the baseball thing, but just in general, I mean, unless you go play in the PGA and you get absolutely good, as Michael Block did, like, what I mean, where you get struck by lightning. But it's something where,
You're saying like once you're done, you're done.
yeah, 100%. Like, what I mean, you're too old, you lost your shot, and you lost the drive. But it had a bunch of different factors into it. But basically, just the whole point of, kind of that little tangent I went on is just the idea that, this isn't guaranteed. You know what I mean? It's going to end at some point. It's not if, it's when.
Right.
So just the ability to maximize your priorities and do it, it literally is a must at this point, because if you're in it for the money in the minor leagues, you're better off doing something completely else. You're not doing it for financial gain. You're doing it basically because of a dream that you
Right.
as a kid of the goal of wanting to make it. And I don't know the math on it, but basically it's the 1% make it. You know what I mean? You got to go climb through 5 different floors to get there, which is the reason why 1% of people make it, because that shit ain't easy. So
To touch on that though, like I remember my first, so in 2021, when I was in South Bend, I was playing for the manager by the name of Michael Ryan, and I love this guy to death. Um, he played for the Twins for a while. He was also a cage fighter, which made him very interesting personality. It made for a very interesting, just clubhouse. But that was my first experience with pro ball, and I remember he sat us down in the bullpen one day, and he dropped the line where he's like, "We got about 40 guys here right now between who's on the roster and who's hurt. Realistically, 2 of you might play in the big leagues." And that's when I kind of looked around. I was like, "Holy shit!" We've all made it to this point. We are in the system. We all have a jersey, so we all have a chance. 2 of us are going to play in the big leagues. So to put that in perspective, it's just it's nuts, dude. You don't think of the odds being that slim until you're in that boat and you hear those kind of words. Um, it's a cutthroat game, like you touched on, man. But man, you have to give it every last bit of what you have if you want to see any sort of fruit from your labor.
yeah, and then like another point too is, we both had really successful careers. You know what I mean? Your Northwood team
Yeah,
was extremely successful, the first to go as far as you guys did. And, in my case, it was, breaking single season records at my school. And it's like,
right.
where I'm at right now, it'd be hard to say that, if today was the end, just somehow randomly, whatever,
For
today was
sure.
the end, I would still look back and go, my career wasn't successful.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that is a
It's
big thing too, where it's like you could be the absolute man, win a national championship in whatever division, junior college, whatever. But I mean, being in the midst of it, when you do
not
put as much
enough.
effort as we do in, you still kind of, it's tainted a little bit, where it's like, I mean, maybe that's something that will come with age, where it's like, we play, we're content with what we were able to do. But just right now, like if it ended, I wouldn't be happy or fulfilled at what I've done. Granted, yes, I would love the people I've met, places I've gone to get to, the little things that this game can
Without a
do,
doubt. Yeah.
and the places it can take you, as you'll see from the guests and the stories that they'll share with how like we got to know a couple of them pretty closely. You know what I mean? So it's just as far as the career goes, how far I personally have gotten. That's something that's definitely going to think about. But that's just the crazy
Well,
point where it's like you could be the absolute man, and you know what I mean?
it's the same everywhere you go, man. It's like when you're on the high school team, you see guys around you and you're competing for playing time. Sorry. And you're practicing every day, you're putting in the work, and you're like, damn, I should be one of the better guys on this team. Same thing with travel ball. Same thing happens in college. Uh, Same thing happens on every single team you're on, no matter the level, right? You go up to low A, high A, double A, and you're looking around, you're like, damn, I can be better than these dudes, right? We are all wearing the same uniform for a reason. And not that it's always a competition with your teammates, right? Those are some of your closest friends. Those are some of the guys that you're going to go through some really hard times in your life with, and some really great times for that matter as well. Like those guys are all still your friends, but at the same time, you guys are all competing. Like I said, two of you are going to play in the big leagues, right? It is a never ending competition. So that competitive drive within, where it's like I can be one of the better players on this team. I can be that guy who wears, the big league uniform one day. That doesn't just go away when you show up to pro ball. That is an everlasting feeling within you. So you're exactly right, dude. Like I felt that way for a really long time, despite, I shouldn't say for a really long time. I felt that way forever, right? Despite, however my performance looks at that time, right? It's always about the next outing. And while sometimes I remember that and sometimes I don't, and I start chasing past outings, it is always about the next outing, right? So yeah, man, you bring up a really good point there where it's like you can be one of those guys, right? You guys are all wearing the same jersey for a reason. Yeah, that's